Well, for some analysis, we can speak to Moroccan sports journalist Amine El Amri. Good morning, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Good morning to you. Thank you for having me.
I imagine there's a lot of excitement of where you are. What does it mean to Morocco to be hosting this tournament?
Well, personally, I barely slept last night. All my thoughts are on this Afcon, which is finally back in Morocco after 37 years. Last time we hosted was in 1988. And the excitement is building up. The fever has been catching up with people since the last couple of days, especially after the win in the FIFA Arab Cup. So everybody's excited, everybody's happy to welcome the African family in Morocco.
Sports have become an important part of Morocco's economic strategy. What has the country been doing to prepare, and do you think that they're ready?
Yeah, this is an important opportunity to showcase Moroccan capacity to host, to organize, and to have around huge events like the African Cup of Nations, like the World Cup, which is coming in 4 years, and that we are co-hosting with Spain and Portugal. So it has been a steady stream of events organized by Morocco in the last decade or so, and now this is the pinnacle of African football and African sporting events. And naturally, Morocco will have and will face tough scrutiny and also lots and lots of enthusiasm from all Africa.
There's obviously a lot of excitement, but Morocco's major investment in its sports infrastructure was also one of the reasons behind this fall's Generation Z protests. Protesters reportedly chanted slogans like, "We want hospitals, not just stadiums." Has that anger really died down, or has it just been repressed?
No, I don't think it has been oppressed. I think it's a natural cause of confrontation between social and sporting aspects of the investment. I think it has been there. For example, I have been testimony to that in Tokyo for the Olympics, in Brazil for the World Cup, a lot less for Russia and Qatar. But I think it's a healthy reaction. People would always want to be on top of the priority of their country. And I think it has been kind of a miscommunication from part of the authorities to show that hosting these kind of events boosts somehow your decision to better your infrastructure or to enhance it. Like, for example, if we would go to people and tell them, look, this high-speed train is going to benefit everybody. The better health offer that FIFA is imposing on us on their standards of hosting a World Cup is going to benefit everybody. So I think it's a legitimate concern from parts of the public. And I think the communication since the last weeks of September, early weeks of October, has changed a lot. And that somehow this kind of calmed down the protests, but they're still here, especially after the flash floods in Safi last week, which obviously, unfortunately, took the lives of almost 40 people. And still, this is a voice of concern from the public, and I think it's a healthy exercise to keep up the scrutiny towards the authorities.
Do you think we might actually see any protests perhaps disrupting the tournament?
No, I don't think so, because Moroccans love football and they love to host people around. So I think everybody will still voice those concerns, but not to the point of protest, because we're just too passionate about football to miss a game for anything else.
Well, Morocco are the big favorites, and they are playing on home turf, but they haven't won the tournament in 50 years. Is there some concern that they might buckle under the pressure?
This is the biggest, this is the $1 million question here in Morocco, because we are asking ourselves of the capacity of Walid Regragui, the national team coach, to kind of transform all this pressure into motivation, into a leitmotiv to go and take that trophy that has been uh, mainly the basic upset of our football history. It's been 5 decades now that Morocco hasn't won. Last time, as I said, we hosted the Afcon in 1988. It was huge disappointment, especially regarding the generation that took part in it. I think it's a huge pressure, but I think the quality of the players, the quality of the roster, the conditions that they are put in would help a lot, especially knowing players like Hakimi, Ibrahim Diaz, Abdel Samad Zelzouli. Those are players that play within pressure day in, day out.
And who are the other favorites? Who are Morocco's kind of main challengers going to be?
Well, it's logical and illogical in the African Cup of Nations. There's always a surprise that could come and blow inside the tournament. But I think Senegal, Egypt, Algeria, even Nigeria, who didn't make it, and Cameroon, who didn't also make it to the World Cup, are going to be big favorites, especially when you see how the conditions are now in Morocco in terms of hosting. Every team would have its base camp, wouldn't be displacing so much. So I think everybody is in for maybe the best sporting level in African Cup of Nations.
And just ahead of the tournament, the Confederation of African Football announced that starting in 2028, the Africa Cup of Nations will be moved to every 4 years instead of every 2 years. Can you talk about the significance of that decision?
Well, it's a big question mark now for African football. There's lots and lots of details that Patrice Motsepe and his team will have to answer to. This is a tradition in Africa to host the tournament every 2 years. It has been the case almost 7 decades now. It has its own specifics. Africa, it's a huge continent. What is valid, for example, in Morocco and Northern Africa, is not at all in Western Africa, etc., etc. So I am for putting the players in the best conditions because an Afcon every 2 years and during the European season is also very bad for the players because they kind of clash with their clubs to be able to represent their country, and we have to find a solution to that. Maybe it's the 4-year span, but let's not forget that Afcon is the main source of income for CAF. So I don't know about that. I need to have more details to have a more pondered and thought about opinion. But I think it's gonna shake a lot. But I think the CAF need to know every detail because we have had this kind of announcement, for example, for the African Football League, the kind of super league in Africa. It has been wanted by Patrice Motsepe and especially by FIFA, which is very present in CAF. And then without managing the details, without taking into account all the specifics of the continent, it's been a fiasco. Basically, let's be honest and say that. Making the Afcon every 4 years is a huge bet from Africa. It's not gonna be liked by football fans around the continent because they love their national team and they love their Afcon. Let's see how it develops in the next 3 or 4 years.
And finally, do you want to make any prognostics, any guesses about how the tournament is going to end up?
That's why I slept so little last night because I was making all the calculations. I was very bad at prognostics, but I think Morocco against Comor for the first game today is going to win. and I can go any further.
Well, I know that I imagine, will be hoping Morocco will be in the final here at France 24. People are rooting for all different kinds of teams. We'll be following it closely, of course. Amine El Amri, thank you again so much for joining us today. That's Moroccan sports journalist Amine El Amri talking to us about Afcon, which kicks off today in Morocco.